I traveled to Kevin Magnussen's home country to race at one of Denmark's best tracks, racing some of their best drivers. We had insane pace, we had a lot of fun, but also we had quite some drama.
And that is Bram Osavada. He now sets the fastest lap of the race. Oh no, this contact up and over goes Bram Osavada!
But before we get to all of that good stuff, first we have to complete practice. Now, just like a Formula 1 weekend, a karting weekend consists of multiple days. The first of which is Friday practice, in which we practice. Now, Friday practice in karting is all about getting comfortable with the track, finding the right setup, and this is all just to prepare for qualifying and the races that will take place on Saturday and Sunday. Now, I had never been to this track before, and considering we are racing some of Denmark's best drivers who are racing for Denmark's best teams and who have been coming there for years upon years upon years, it didn't look too good for us. And somehow, after we completed a few practice sessions, the pace looked good. Really good. And wow guys, what an awesome track. I completely fell in love with this place. Let's quickly have a look at what a lap here is like. We top out at the end of the main straight at almost 120 kph, braking hard for the double right-handers of turn 1 and 2. Flow to the outside to carry as much speed as possible onto the second straight. We have a short straight before turn 3, a great overtaking opportunity. Brake hard, use the banking to your advantage and take a lot of speed into the apex. This shoots you towards turn 4, another hairpin and easy overtaking spot. Take a tight line in, take a late apex, early on the power, and we let the Rotax engine carry us towards the scariest corner of this track, Pomfrit. We go over the crest, dive down into a super fast double left-hander, take both curves, keep to the left on exit to open up turn 7, a downward right-hand hairpin. Apex speed is slow here, so the next 90-degree right-hander of turn 8 can almost be taken flat out. We now enter the so-called radiator section, in which we have a hairpin to the left and another hairpin right after. Not unlike the final sector in Lonato, Italy. I noticed that this was our strongest part of the track and we were faster here than pretty much every other driver. The final corner was where we are slowest on track however, an awkward right-hand chicane. Take a lot of entry speed, destroy the curb on the exit and rocket back onto the straight for another lap of Vojens motorsport arena. Wow guys, what an awesome track. I can definitely say that this is one of my favorite ones I've ever been at so far. And also, what a great way to end this Friday practice. Because we were looking at top 5 pace and most importantly, I had the confidence. Confidence that we could get a good result here. Alright guys, and that is the first day of practice over here in Vojens. I think it went pretty well. We're missing about 3/10 maybe. We are of course not running the race engine yet. And yeah, I think we got the setup pretty good here. Maybe there's a bit more to find in my driving. I feel like I'm still a little bit inconsistent. But hey, that's a small details to work on for tomorrow. I think overall, pretty good. Yeah. One thing that many people don't realize about karting is that driving the kart itself is just a small part of the picture. Because as soon as practice day is over, you need to take everything apart, clean it, inspect it, and that's a very important part. So most drivers have this done by their team or by their mechanic, but to save a little bit of budget, I had to do it all myself. Luckily my mechanic arrived in the evening and I got a little bit of help from him. So that meant my kart was all ready for tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow... Alright guys, good morning, welcome to Vojens. So we just completed the first warm-up, which was quite okay. I think we are still about the same pace as yesterday. Kart feels the same as yesterday, we're just struggling a bit in the fast corners, especially the first one. I think it's okay so far, engine is really fast. And yeah, let's see where we end up in quali. In karting qualifying, it is super important that you have the right track position, so that you have slipstream, but that you are not getting held up by slow traffic. And long story short, I messed this one up. So that means that we qualified at the back of the grid for all of the heats. And stay with me here, because this is where karting can get a little bit confusing. So up next we have 3 short sprint races which are called heats. And the heats purely exist to determine your starting position for the finals that we have on Sunday. And whoever has the most points after the heats will start in P1, the guy with the second most points will start in P2, and so on. So theoretically, if we did badly in all of the heats, that means that we wouldn't even make the final at all. But that's really only something you have to worry about if you either don't finish the race or get disqualified. So, let's see how we do.
And it's clearly apparent that Bram Osavada has qualified at the back of the grid. But seeing the Dutchman's true pace yesterday, I'm sure that he's going to make some of those places up. Well, we'll soon find out as the grid rolls into the tram lines here at Vojens. The red lights are on, red lights are out, we're underway in racing. Not a bad first lap from Osavada there, climbing up to 11th. And now he's got pressure from behind, courtesy of Lotus 2. Wow, what a move there from Bram Ossewaarde, threading the eye of the needle, diving down the middle of two karts and somehow gaining places. I have absolutely no idea how they did not come into contact there.
So far, so good. We are gaining positions and thus claiming more points.
And Knud Nielsen is still firmly in control of this race overall. Driver with the most position gained though goes to Bram Ossewaarde, up 6 places from his original starting position in 14th.
So even though from the outside it was looking good, I was feeling like trash whilst driving the kart. There were 2 things that were working against us, one of which was the super aggressive setup we came to yesterday in Friday practice. The weather had changed slightly, and in karting, only a small increase or decrease in temperature can massively change what the fastest setup is. So the setup that was working really well in the hot conditions we had yesterday was working a lot less well in the cold conditions we had today, and I was struggling a little bit for pace. To make things worse, we started to get some issues with the electrical systems of our engine. So that meant that I really didn't have the pace, and that P8 was the maximum we could achieve for now. Still, that's an okay amount of points. 1 heat down, 2 more to go.
Heat 2 for senior Rotax in round 6 of the Danish Rotax Max Challenge here at Vojens Motorsport Arena. It's about to get underway as revs rise, lights are on, lights are out, and we're underway. That's a fantastic start from Ossewaarde. Already up 6 places just after the opening turn. Bram Ossewaarde seems to have found yesterday's magic come back to him. He's absolutely flying and already knocking on the door of 7th, occupied by Jens Christensen.
So the start to this race was absolutely epic. Great start, great overtakes, we fixed the issues and we also changed the setup so we were lightning quick so far. But then, disaster struck.
Oh no, someone's in trouble there. It appears to be Bram Ossewaarde in the 376.
Well, that's a DNF. Unfortunately, our chain snapped, which means that we didn't have anything that connected the engine's power to the rear wheels, which appears to be quite important in racing. But this does mean that if we still want to have a good chance at making the final, we would have to get a good result in the next race. So nothing is lost yet, but if we mess up one more time, we would be in trouble.
Well guys, yeah, a bit unlucky today. So in the first race the engine wasn't really running that well, and that was because this thing came loose. How it didn't come off and I DNF'd, I don't know. And then in the second race, this motherfucker decided to brake, which is weird because it's an O-ring change. But yeah, it's a bit weird, there's no other damage. I don't know what happened. Here, you can have this.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, time to clean everything and see you guys.
Anyways, the day was once again over and it was time to clean everything once again. And if you're unfamiliar with karting, it might seem like a lot of work to clean everything and to make it like brand new every day. And yeah, it is a lot of work. But trust me on this one, having a clean kart is way more important than you think. So after the cleaning was over, it was time to get food, and I have to say, the Vojens restaurant was really one of the best trackside restaurants I have ever seen. Great food, decent price and some cool F1 stuff like Kevin Magnussen's old suits. But hey, we're here for racing, not for eating, and I digress. So let's quickly see what happened on Sunday.
Alright guys, good morning. Welcome back to Vojens. I hope we can still make it to the final with that DNF from yesterday, but we'll just see about that. So the track's really cold today. We changed some things on the setup. It didn't really work out in the warm-up unfortunately. And yeah, one more heat, then pre-final and final. Let's see how that will go.
Just one more qualifying heat remains here in Vojens for senior Rotax. Knud Nielsen has taken the most points so far, closely followed in second by Valdemar Agerholm. But Bram Ossewaarde will be one to watch after that DNF in Heat 2, as the Dutchman hopes to gain some points back. We'll find that out soon as the 5 red lights go out once again, and we are underway. Some of the drivers really getting their elbows out there as Bram Ossewaarde gets shoved out wide there. Luckily enough, he's able to fight back and claim back those lost positions.
A bit of a scruffy start so far, but I knew I had the pace. So let's engage hunting mode.
The top 9 have really pulled away from the rest of the field here, but one man is quicker than anybody else, and that is Bram Ossewaarde. He now sets the fastest lap of the race. And there's contact. First race points, Elias Heufeld spins out, and in that chaos, Bram Ossewaarde has climbed up to P7, right behind Germany's Bennett Ahrens.
This is by far the best race of the weekend, and it seems like a top 5 result could very well be possible if we keep pushing.
Meanwhile, we have 4 karts battling for 5th, and I'm pretty sure Ossewaarde wants to clear them as soon as possible. 3 wide into turn 3. Who comes out on top? Oh no, there's contact. Up and over goes Bravo Savannah.
Ah, shit. Well, at least we didn't DNF. And still somehow I was able to limp back home into P6, so that actually made this the best result of the weekend. So in my opinion, simple racing incidents. The stewards thought differently, however.
Attention paddock, driver number 376 plus entrant, report to the stewards immediately.
Long story short, we got black flagged for this incident. The Danish stewards are really strict when it comes to making contact with other drivers, and we fell victim to that once again. Because if you guys think back to Copenhagen, we got our win taken off of us by this small incident that I had when taking the lead. So that meant that we got a P8 finish in Heat 1, a DNF in Heat 2 and disqualified in Heat 3. And that means we didn't make the final. Yet. Because there's one thing I didn't tell you guys. There's actually another secret race for if you don't make the final, which is called the second chance heat. So the top 6 in this race will go through to the final, so it is very important that we finish in the top 6 to make it through. But considering that so far we've basically had top 5 pace, this shouldn't be a problem at all. And it wasn't. I quickly got up to P2, was able to sit behind the leader for a while, so we just sat there and finished in P2. So that meant we are through, but we are almost starting at the back of the grid once again.
Let's get this pre-final for Senior Rotax underway. The lights go out and we're racing once more. Not the sort of starts we're used to seeing from Bram Nosavada. He still hasn't made up any places since the beginning of the race.
Yes, Alex, very true. Unfortunately, this time it was down to another issue, and that was that our power valve stopped working properly. So when you have a problem with that, your acceleration out of the slow corners will just be trash. And unfortunately, Vojens has quite a lot of slow corners. However, by keeping my nose clean, driving smart and just finishing the race, we were able to climb to P19. So that means we are starting the final in P19.
Just one more race to go here for Senior Rotax, and it's the one we've all been waiting for. Waldemar Aggerholm will start from pole position with P2 alongside in the form of Patrick Rasmussen, our Flying Dutchman Bram Nosavada, and I am sure he will capitalise on his pace and move forward in this. Just like Knud Nielsen, he's starting right alongside the Dutchman, down in 20th.
Yes, Alex, you're right once again. And for the first part of this race, that's exactly what we did.
Another great start by Nosavada, seems to have moved up to 15th. We all know he's been strong in the opening phases, and this time it's no exception. And up the inside goes Nosavada into the dreaded French fry corner. Nosavada in a fierce battle with the two Nero Motorsport drivers. The midfield battles are always like watching battlefields during wartime.
So we were making really good progress, but once again, the mechanical side of the sport let us down. And this time, my spark plug started failing, and the part holding down the spark plug in position 2. Long story short, I was losing engine power once again, which meant that we finished the race in a disappointing P13.
Out of the final corner they come. Nosavada still being chased by Knud Nielsen. They rocket towards the finish line, but it's going to be Nosavada who comes out on top for now, taking 13th. But I'm sure neither of these drivers will be happy with those results.
And that just goes to show that motorsport's all about the complete package. We had the pace down pretty well, we had a good setup, I felt like I was really getting used to the track well and I was fast there. But then again, if you don't invest that much money or time into your durability part of the package, you won't win. Motorsport 101. Everything has to be perfect if you want to win. Which is also what I learned when I raced this F3 driver at an indoor go-kart track. Video is on screen here, check it out. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.